Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our special meeting. Roll call, please.
Trustee McAvoy,
Present.
Trustee Wells,
Here.
Trustee Lawson. Here. Vice President Marquez.
Here.
President Diaz-Locum.
Present. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. If you need translation, translation is available. Si necesitas traducción, tenemos traducción para ustedes. Pueden llamar al 978-990-5137 y presionen 8377-041 y el signo del número. If you like to speak to the board, please fill out a Google form if you're at home. If you're here, please fill out a card. Si quieres hablar con nosotros esta noche, por favor, llena el formulario que está en línea. Si estás presente, puedes llenar una tarjeta y dársela a Evelyn. Okay. Do we have any changes to the agenda this evening? None? Well, great. I have a motion to move the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Evelyn.
Trustee McAvoy,
Aye.
Trustee Wells,
Aye.
Trustee Lawson.
Aye.
Vice President Marquez.
Aye.
President Diaz-Locum.
Aye. Do we have any oral communication this evening?
No oral
None.
communication.
Okay, and moving right along to item number 6, which is tonight's meeting's bond program action items, which is the Measure T bond program budget update, presentation, and adoption of new budget.
Good evening, Superintendent Baker, President Diaz-Locum, and members of the board. Our Measure T Facilities Improvements Program, as you know, is very near its conclusion. There are tasks remaining and even small bits of construction, but this program is well into what we call closeout. Tonight, as we have every 6 months for the last 6 years, the team will present updated program revenue and proposed budgets for all projects. As usual, at the end of the presentation, we will ask the board to adopt this updated proposed budget. We have much to celebrate. After the board takes action on this updated budget, I would like to reserve time to briefly outline some highlights of this successful program. But for now, we have important business to attend and for the closing phases of our program. So Sarah will start with a high-level program budget overview and revenue update, and will follow with details on the status and proposed budgets for the projects. After that, I will ask questions and then ask for board approval of this proposed new budget. Sarah?
In the information that follows, you'll see that we are indeed effectively in closeout. And we're in the process of capturing the last expenditures, checking for remaining needs, and always looking forward so that we can conclude this program within budget. This is a recurring exercise twice a year. And as usual, we have applied scrutiny and reasoned caution, vetting and challenging every line of every project. Checking for outstanding invoices or potential changes, reconciling with actuals to date, coordinating with business services, conferring with stakeholders, not the least of which is our own Don Diaz. These budgets involve diligent work from the whole team. They're not a small task. However, they give recent reality-based empirical evidence that we've earned our belief in the status of the budgets we present. We challenge each other, we bring strengths, we present these drafts to the bond team and incorporate their challenges and recommendations ahead of bringing it to this governing board to ask for an adoption. This level of effort, the multiple perspectives, and the spirit of setting high standards for ourselves and for planning, these are all vital to the success of this program. We always begin with the primary constraint, which is what's our total revenue? Here is what happened since you last adopted the budget on April 6th. If you'll turn to the sheet that you've been seeing lately on screen, it looks like this. These are a list of every transaction from our software program and reconciled with the district's primary system. Every transaction of revenue since the inception of the bond program. We always focus on the items that are shaded in orange because those are the changes since the last time you saw this budget. This is current as of this morning. This is accurate as much as far as we know, unless something really unusual has happened. The new total of the program revenue is $214,677,769. The changes begin on line 47 and they go through line 52. And you'll see that the first change on row 47, that's in the shaded gray space on the far left of the sheet. The first change or update is in earned interest, and that was the Q3 actual interest, which came just after, was posted. However, we got the news after the last time you adopted the budget. Line 48 is an EV bus charger reimbursement. Same with 49 and 50. Line 51 is the Q4 actual interest, which was posted to last fiscal year as well. And then the last line, 52, is another EV bus charger reimbursement. You can't add the totals in those orange cells and come up with the difference because prior to this, we had some estimated interest. So I'd like to go over two things which we've totaled at the bottom of this sheet. The first thing is, let's talk about the interest earnings, which have been a significant benefit to the program. In the fiscal year 21-22, you'll see the 4 quarters actuals listed there, and the total is $494,000. So almost $500,000 in interest last year. More than a year ago, the CBO at that time gave us an estimate for the year of $350,000. So as is usual, the district is conservative in their forward-looking estimates for interest. So in this list of revenue transactions, we have corrected other estimated entries above the orange and input the actual interest earnings. And those are totaled as shown below. So just above that box, beneath the orange, is the prior revenue total adopted on April 6th. We've removed 2 items, the Bay Area Air Quality Management District. Thank you, Will, for nodding for that acronym or for that abbreviation. We've removed 2 figures, 84,150 and the 14,850, because the receipt of those funds is now uncertain. Will informs us that we've been waiting a long time and we're not entirely sure that's going to happen at all. So we removed that from the revenue. We also removed the prior estimate of Q3 and Q4, and that was a balancing figure which totaled Q1, Q2, and this balancing figure, the total of all of those was the CBO's estimate of 350,000 of interest last year. Now that we have Q3 and Q4, we've swapped that figure, that balancing figure of 67,562 for the two actuals, Q3 and Q4. There are bus chargers that are listed there below, and the total net revenue increase then is $355,003.07. Any questions on revenue to date? Going forward, there will no doubt be some very small amount of interest. We've ignored that, being a conservative group of people when we estimate these things. And we presume that our new CBO is in agreement with that. So there will be some amount that shows up the next time we do this, along with the other very tiny expenditures that are coming through in the next 6 months. So now, if there are no questions, I don't see any, then it's time to talk about what we call the sources and budgets report. And by the way, all of this data comes out of our accounting software for the bond program. It then gets reformatted generally by me. I think I have the most.
Sarah, can I interrupt for a minute?
Yes.
So Elisa's online, so she doesn't have access to this. So I've been sending her like a photo
Oh.
of one sheet.
Shoot.
So you're on the first large page. Is that what you're?
We've just finished the
Right, I
revenue.
sent her this.
Now we're on this first
Okay.
stapled with three
Right,
horizontal.
right.
And in just a moment, I could email it a PDF to her.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. As soon as I finish talking and Will starts, I will
Okay. Perfect.
get this if I know the password. So first of all, this is a familiar form and it's a familiar graphic layout. It's exciting for us to gray out the projects as we finish them. We started and there was no gray on this sheet on any of these long list of projects. Now it's almost all gray. And even the ones that are still active have small bits of pieces as Director Diaz, former Director Diaz, retired Director Superstar Diaz mentioned. There's still work to do, but it's really, we have to look at this program as being in closeout now. So first of all, you know how this looks. And if we were doing this electronically, we would expand the rows, which are in the far left column of the first sheet, are listed 1 through 9. Each of those expands and has detail under it for all of the object codes that make up that category of expenditure and budgeting. And within each of those categories, we could further expand it if we had the software live. But we want you to know that each of these things is made up of a lot of thinking in individual lines. So we always additionally show you your prior adopted budget, and that's down there near the bottom of the sheet. You'll see on the first page, it has the title on the left, April 6, 2022 budget adoption, so that you know what you saw last time and how it has changed. And that's just below there. In the first column, there happens to be a red $200,000. We'll explain that momentarily. So you always see what the current proposed new plan for expenditures, and expenditures are made of actuals behind us and projections looking forward. So, but that's the total budget then for that project. Since we know what balanced budgets are, you'll always see the funding equal the total exactly. If you look at the last page of this, you'll see the board reserve and the total at the far right. We always like to point out to you that the total revenue on this sheet and the total planned expenditures are balanced, which is to say they equal each other. And they also match the figure of the revenue that we just presented to you on the prior sheet. So with that, we will hand it over to Will. Will is the person most close to everything that's happening on a project site. Don probably knows the most of anybody around here about all of the details of what's going on a site. Will probably knows the most about what's happening with contracts and current construction on every single site. So he is going to walk you through the list of projects and changes and interesting side notes. Thanks, Will.
Thank you.
All right, so across the top, you can see 3150 Granger Way, generators, Clifford. Those are the projects. So our different projects are the columns across this page. You can see down below line 9, we first have our proposed new project budgets. Below that, our April 6th, 2022 last budget adoption. And then below that are the proposed changes since the last adoption. So I'm going to be focused on the proposed changes since last adoption, starting with the 3150 Granger Way site. So at 3150 Granger Way site, we propose moving $200,000 from the project to the board reserve. Energy and security project, we propose adding $400,000 from the board reserve to the project for the maintenance, operation, and transportation yard security camera and intrusion system. At Garfield, we propose adding $1.37 million from the board reserve to the project for the rear parking lot HVAC system for the admin staff and classrooms in the existing admin building. Additional small projects, forecasted PCOs, market conditions, and contingency updates. At the 909 Roosevelt Avenue site, we propose adding $100 from the board reserve to the project for closeout and reconciliation to actuals. Henry Ford, we propose adding $43,000 from the board reserve to the project for flooring, furniture, and landscaping scope that came up after closeout. At Hoover, we propose moving $99,000 from the project to the board reserve. The budget was able to accomplish outdoor classroom, kitchen equipment upgrades, and sidewalk upgrades. Tech IT DO project, we propose moving $60,000 to the board reserve. Orion Alternative, we propose adding $310,000 from the board reserve to the project for additional small projects, forecasted PCOs, market conditions, and other contingencies. At Kennedy, we propose moving $340,000 to the board reserve. The budget accomplished makerspace and the garden replacement. Moving on to the next sheet. McKinley, we propose moving $100,000 from the project to the board reserve. The budget was able to accomplish the EV bus project. At North Star, we propose adding $1,000 from the board reserve to the project for closeout and reconciliation to actuals. At 815 Allerton Street site, we propose adding $200 from the board reserve to the project for closeout and reconciliation to actuals. Roosevelt, we propose moving $250,000 from the project to the board reserve. At Taft, we propose adding $470,000 from the board reserve to the project for added curb appeal at the 10th Avenue face of the new building, asphalt repair, entire site seal coat and striping restoration, temp lot, rock removal and restoration, and then baseball diamond and field restoration. Moving on to the next sheet. Interim housing project, we propose adding $100,000 from the board reserve to the project for additional work required after removing 18 portables at Orion Alternative in Garfield. Program administration project, we propose adding $250K from the board reserve to the project for safety compliance officers as required by the San Mateo County Health Department. And then lastly, the board reserve project, we propose moving 1.85 million to the projects, as I just noted. We also added $355,000 net revenue increase, which creates a net change to the board reserve of negative 1.54 million, leaving the board reserve at 1.8 million. And with that, I'll hand it back.
So any questions on that sheet?
Can I, hi, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm trying to follow on my phone and I just got the PDF. Just to confirm then, I was able to follow pretty closely, I think. But just to confirm then, what sort of left unspoken for at this point is 1.8 million?
That's correct.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Comments? No?
Okay, so in concluding here, we all have great memories of this Measure T program. And there are many things to say about this program, but again, first and foremost, we are still in the process of finishing. So nothing, no other questions on this budget at all? Okay, so Sarah has a few words to say now.
But first, we can ask them to vote.
Oh, yeah, right. Yes, request for board approval.
Okay. Roll call on board approval of the, oh, that's right. Make a motion.
Go ahead, Alita. Yeah, you moved to approve. I'll second. Yeah, it looks, as you said, in closeout. So thanks.
Trustee
Okay.
McAvoy.
Yeah, actually, maybe just a couple of comments before we take the vote. Well, actually, no, we'll take the vote and then, yeah, I feel like we should make some comments. We'll give you that after. Okay, aye.
Trustee Wells.
Aye.
Trustee Lawson.
Aye.
Vice President Marcus.
Aye.
President Diaz-Solcom.
Aye. Okay, so Elisa, do you want to make the comments?
Oh, yeah, I just realized that, that all happened kind of quickly. I think once again, part of the reason we don't have a lot of comments or questions is because you've kept us very well informed all the way along. And when you look at our budget and all the work we've accomplished with this money, I think we're so proud of how we've come in under budget what we expected and sooner than expected. And that what's wonderful is this late in the project, we still have the 1.8 million, right, board reserve, which is being used exactly as expected to be used to sort of fill in some of these gaps, right? Always the unknowns that you don't know about. So anyway, just really pleased with where we're at, and that unlike, there's some districts that get to a point in this project and they're way over budget, right? I mean, millions and millions and millions of dollars. So this is just so impressive. So I just want to say thank you once again to the team. All three of you are amazing. I know there's a team behind your team. And I also want to thank Janet and Mike for sitting on the bond committee. So thank you. And thank you, Dr. Baker, of course, always for your leadership.
Well, that was well said, Elisa. But I would also like to take a personal moment of privilege to say thank you to all of you, and especially to Dawn. Since I have been here, you have been there, and if you've touched everybody in this district. You have improved our community. You have improved our sites. You know this place in and out. And as I said, if there's one person that made a difference all these years, it would definitely be you. You have been here weekends, evenings, driving home late at night. And I think that our students and our staff are better for it. So thank you for all the years you've spent with us. You will be sorely missed. And again, you have left a legacy, those beautiful buildings, the children, I see them enjoying them. And it's been not just one, but many improvements. And you're always so good about watching the budget, making sure things get done. So again, you guys, Will, Sarah, everybody, the whole team, you guys are amazing. As you know, I still laugh because Dennis was always kidding about those few cents that you couldn't find. Yeah, and you guys found him. So, I think the fact that there are no questions speaks volumes that you guys have kept us informed, found every dollar, and saved money every place that you could. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a few words. 6 years with you. As we identified in our facilities master plan, feels like many, many years ago, Measure T has tackled some of the highest priority facilities needs that you had. It was a long list. Together, we were able to complete more than what we set out to in the initial part of it. And district leadership was able to prioritize and authorize some critical added scope and work further down the list of prioritized needs. And as we all recall, we did this in a very interesting world, which pitched us a few curves along the way. Looking around, every person in this room, and that means every single one, Annabelle, Candy, Ralph, Martin, we could not have done this without every single person, all of the board members, all of the people helping, and all of the people who aren't here as well. This took a village to accomplish all of this. And I think that we should move forward as a community and as that village of support for our schools. A motto I came up with years ago was imagine, invest, insist. And what that means to me is let's imagine great education for our community and our students. Then let's invest in the hard work it takes to plan and deliver that. And then let's insist that we follow through with clean delivery. The key role of facilities is to serve education. Speaking of service to education, we're celebrating tonight a long, some might call old, but not us, contributor to everything facilities in this district. So Don, we thank you, everybody, from the bottom of our hearts. And we thank everybody in this room who contributed to the whole program. We couldn't have done it without the hard work of people who aren't sitting here speaking tonight and who aren't charged with the responsibility of leading and governing the district. But thank you so much. We're so appreciated. So Don, do you have concluding remarks?
Regarding this program and its accomplishments, regarding significant improvements in our facilities, and has accomplished much needed high priority work. Our long list of facilities needs is now shorter. Measure T projects are 95% complete. We finished with enough budget to work down the long list of priority needs. Our schools look and feel better. Our district has a robust and modern technology. Our schools are more safe and secure. And our schools move significantly toward standardized facilities. There is more work to do, and that more work is phase 2 and Measure S, which is very needed in our community. So we look forward to that, and we will work hard to make sure that everybody understands that. So thank you.
Anyone else have any comments?
I mean, that was well said, and thank you very much. I don't want to step on anything that you said there because it was perfectly stated. So appreciated the comments and of course the contributions tonight.
Well, thank you guys again. And you're right, Dawn. We have been slowly making progress and there's much more to be done. I think, again, you guys have accomplished so much, way more than what we had planned. So you guys should be very proud, and I am very thankful on behalf of all the community. Thank you for all your hard work. On behalf of the students, I applaud you. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? Go ahead.
So when we started on this venture 6 years ago, Sarah, 6 years ago, my gosh, it doesn't seem like 6 years, does it? Or did? No, I don't think so. It seems like it went faster than 6 years. It does. And I just want to, I remember the first time, we met Sarah in San Francisco at DWK. There were a couple board members with me at that time also. And I remember them really, and Kelly, the DWK, the Kelly, and his first name, Mark, you need to find he called it an organization that'll work with you and make sure that you're within the confinements of your budget, that you come in on time or under time. And he goes, you need to hire this person. And Dennis and I are looking at each other. I think it was Hillary that was with me. Wasn't it? Was it Don? Yeah. And what is he talking about? You, as a superintendent, you go to school for education and what's going on in the classroom. You talk about budgets a lot, but you don't talk anything about construction. And so I was glad Don was there, and Don goes, well, let's just listen. And the presentation you gave was outstanding. And it was hands down that we needed to go in this direction. And Sarah, thank you so much for bringing all your expertise, your knowledge, and your understanding of a superintendent who really does not understand construction, even when it's done on his own home. The other half deals with that. I don't. So we were very grateful to have you with us, Sarah, and then Will and your group, and always keeping us abreast. And even this morning when I was calling you at 8:30, Will picked up. He says, "Don't worry about it. We've got it handled." So the whole group, thank you so much for bringing us to where we are today and making this a successful project for the Redwood City School District and the students that we serve and the families. I mean, just tonight when we were at Garfield, what a difference. You talked about that boiler. I used to have that steam in my classroom. You remember that steam, whatever that was called? And it would go, and all the kids go, "Oh my God, here we go again." I go, it's not there. Well, my classroom's not there, but I mean, that's what when you talked about that boiler, it brought back memories of the hissing of that, throughout the day, when we had it on. So what a joy it was to be there tonight and to see the progress that this district has made over the years. And it's a true value of the people that come together to make this happen. So thank you all. Thank you all so much.
And on that happy note, I'm thankful. Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting to press that button. So again, on that happy note, I'm very thankful for all you have done. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to make the motion again. We already did this once, but may we make the motion in honor of our amazing Don Diaz, and just once again thank him for all he's done for our school district, the students, the staff, the families, the community over the years. You have been the heart and soul keeping the engine running, Don. So thank you. And we'll close the board meeting in honor of Don. If that's okay with you, President.
Or a second?
Second.
Hey, all those in
Hey,
Lisa's me. That's great. Perfect. Thank you.
all right. Thanks, everyone. Good night.